in game 2 for today. Let's meet the starting lineups for both teams. First of all, for the Homestead Spartans, leading off, playing shortstop, number 2, Jaden Lepper. Batting second, DH number 20, Carter Matheson. Playing second base for the Homestead Spartans, number 4, Gabe Goebel. Batting third, playing first base, number 17, Caleb Colpine. Batting fourth, playing third base, number 11, Brennan Weaver. Batting fifth, playing right field, number 14, Palmer. Batting sixth and on the mound for the Spartans, number 10, Graham Collin. Batting seventh, playing left field, number 21, Jake Goody. Batting eighth, playing center field, number 1, Bryce Snyder. And rounding out the lineup for game 2 for the Homestead Spartans, catcher, number 6, Carter Dixon. And now you're starting the lineup for your Leo Lions for game 2 today. Batting first, playing center field, number 6, Damian Goodekums. Batting second, playing shortstop, number 22, Coden Brubaker. Batting third, your DH today for the second game, number 9, Quentin Peters. And on the mound today for game 2 for the Leo Lions, number 5, Jonathan Itzy.
Yeah, exactly.
Batting cleanup for the Lions, game 2, first base, number 21, Cole Stevens.
Wiltshire was reaching out to me for Dan was.
Batting fifth, playing left field, number 14, Alex Hepner. Batting sixth and catching today for game 2, number 24, Michael O'Brien.
Yeah, he knows about this.
Batting seventh, playing third base, number 17, Dakota Patterson. Batting eighth, playing right field, number 4, Gannon Brown.
They swing it too. Yeah.
And rounding out the lineup for game 2 today for the Leo Lions, playing second base, number 7, Braden Hicks. Your umpires for game 2 today, behind the plate, Mark Metler. And in the field, James Craig.
All right, you ready to go? I'm ready.
Well, good afternoon, folks. We are here for game 2 of this doubleheader, Homestead versus Leo. If you were there for the first game, you already know that Leo came out the better on the first game, beating Homestead for the final score. Was it 14-9?
Actually, I think it was 15-9.
15-9. The Leo bats were hot, but oddly enough, so were the Homestead bats, and the hit total difference was not far apart. The difference in that game was a few too many freebies by Homestead, a few too many walks, hit by pitches, and a couple guys getting moved around the bases on bad throws. So hopefully Homestead will clean up the game a little bit this afternoon and do a little better job than it did the first time around. It would appear that Homestead gets to play the second game as the home team, which I don't think we've seen that this year on a doubleheader. The doubleheader, normally the home team is the home team, both games.
Well, we're hitting first, aren't we, Dan?
Oh, you're right. So we aren't the home team. So we haven't seen it yet.
No, we haven't. Now, I'm not sure I'd give that up if I was the hosting a doubleheader. But, yeah, no, I think we had Homestead early in the season. We saw, a handful of games that had some errors, had some issues hitting the zone, some wild pitches, some freebies, some walks, and just gave the other team several runs. Our bats typically were enough to keep us in those games, and we won some of those high-scoring affairs. But today Leo had some good pitching. Their starting pitcher in that first game, by that fourth inning, really settled in nicely, and then they brought in Pappenbrook to close it in the 6th and 7th inning, and they did a good job, won the first one. So here we go with game 2, and hopefully Homestead can get a split here and win game 2.
And that'd be great. And Homestead starts off with what we're seeing as a familiar face in the leadoff position is Jaden Lepper. He took Hawk's place in the leadoff spot when Hawk suffered a small injury and has not been back in the lineup since. And Jaden leads off with a beautifully placed bunt. The pitcher's there and gets it, makes the throw, but he is called out at first. But that was you couldn't place that bunt too much better than he did.
No, trying to catch him by surprise. It almost worked. Good play by the pitcher to get all the way in and make that throw because third baseman didn't have a chance.
Yeah, and I like to see the team trying a little small ball out because that's not something that our team has done much in the season so far, and that's something that I like to see us practice. And it takes up Carter Matheson with a called strike one. Looks like a curveball that dropped in.
Yeah, we'll announce some players as soon as iScore catches up. We don't have the lineups in yet, so right-handed pitcher got a 12-6 curveball and a nice little fastball.
Carter fouls one off down the first base line.
So it looks like you got a number on that pitcher. Is that a 6? Is that an 8? What is that, Dan?
Yeah, I'm thinking 5. And folks, our equipment here is getting hot. We are sitting out directly in the sun, and Craig suggested maybe we get a... And Carter hits a scorched fly ball to left center. It drops right before the fence, takes one hop into the fence, and Carter's going to be in for an easy stand-up double, folks. So that's Carter's hitting all the way. And you see also the heads-up play there. The cutoff throw comes in, and the cutoff guy misses it, and it goes to a third guy. Carter starts taking off towards third as if he's going to go ahead and try third, because if that second guy didn't get it, he would have been there.
Well, and they also made a error. Both the second baseman and shortstop went out for the cut, so there was no one on the base. The first baseman tried to catch up with Carter, which he's not going to do. Not that there would have been a play at the base. Good piece of hitting, good way to start off. Fastball over the plate, and Carter punished him.
And so we got one on and one aboard, and Caleb Colpine is up. Leo switched uniforms for this game. And Caleb just smokes one between the first and second baseman. The right fielder bobbles it a bit, but not enough to allow Colpine to come in, but certainly making it so there won't be a play at home, and Carter Matheson scores. And Homestead again is on the board first. This is the way the game started off last game. Homestead came out swinging, came out hitting, put runs up on the board, but Leo managed to match us step for step until the third inning when Leo took the lead that they never gave up. So hopefully Homestead's going to keep the foot on the gas here and put runs up every inning. That's a curveball way outside. Ball one.
Yeah, they would just be patient with this pitcher. He does. I don't think his fastball's nearly quite the velocity of Pappenbrook, who closed the first game for him. So we just time this out. I can see Homestead being able to hit this guy pretty good. And he is number 5. That's D. Massing. He's got a 4-1 record this year, 3.68 ERA, 3.68, not 368.
And that's ball in the dirt. Originally, Caleb does not go, but then the catcher ran past the ball. I don't think he knew where it was.
No, there's
Caleb saw it was going to be enough time.
There was enough dust over the plate on this dirt field, and the white ball sitting on the white plate. I think he just lost it in the dust and looked behind him, and Caleb got to second.
And the count goes to 2-0.
Yeah, and that cloud layer is gone, Dan.
Yes, it is, and that's called strike.
The good news for the players is a grass field versus a turf field that won't hold the heat and reflect the heat the way some of those turf fields will add 10 degrees.
Wiegert catches that curveball, hits a grounder to third baseman, and they're able to make the throw all the way across the diamond to first for the out, and we're at 2 outs. 1 run scored, and Luke Palmer's up to bat. Got a man on second.
Yeah,
like to see Luke trade places with Caleb right now. And that's a fastball right down the middle. Luke swings and misses for strike 1.
Yeah, good pitch to go after. Like to see a good aggressive swing there.
And that's a curveball that Luke holds on. Count goes to 1-1.
I think this is a different catcher from game 1 for Leo.
Yeah, certainly he's not doing the stretching out that the game 1 catcher did, the gymnastics behind the plate.
Looks like this is Michael O'Brien, number 24.
And that was a changeup. Looks a little early on that. Fouls it down the left field line, and that takes it to 1-2. Luke does not
There we
chase that
go.
curveball, but it gets by the catcher, and now Caleb is standing on third. Counts 2-2.
Yeah, I've seen several of his curveballs not quite get to the plate, so usually catchers can block those if they're at the plate or just behind it, but a couple of these have been in front of the plate.
And I get the feeling that ground there around the home plate is pretty hard. And that's fouled off. Looked like it was a little bit high, but Luke spoils that and keeps it 2-2.
Yeah, I think probably would have been a ball, but close enough. I think Luke felt he had to go after it and fouled it off to live for another pitch here.
Yeah, he got a couple of high ones called on him in the last game. I know we got a different home plate ump this time, but he's a little worried about that, I think. And that was a curveball, hung up a little
There
bit.
we go,
Luke
Luke.
manages to pop one into a little Texas leaguer in between the shortstop and the center fielder. Run scores Luke on first, and Homestead has 2 runs in the top of the first, and Graham Collin up.
Yeah, good start here. Let's see if Coach Pyle gives Graham a take sign to get Luke to second, possibly.
And Graham has been striking the ball well, just not getting as much out as he'd like. Luke takes off but slips, I think, out there from first. He peeled
You might
out.
be right. Yeah, I don't think that was a secondary. I think that was a steal attempt that he lost his footing.
Yeah,
Had to get back.
And I've been telling Luke that he might want to switch onto these dirt fields to his metal cleats, but he likes the plastic. And what does Dad
interesting.
know? Graham fouls that one off. And the count's 1-1.
Yeah, I'd like to see Graham connect on one. He's had several well-hit balls over the last couple of games, just some deep fly balls.
Yep, he's connected on them. He just needs that perfect connection, and he also needs to hit them where they ain't. So what do you think? Is Luke going to try and go on this one? I know they're thinking about it, the pitcher and the catcher. Luke does not, and Graham smokes one to the alley, but the center fielder is able to get under that one. That thing was going to one-hop the wall. They were playing him deep wisely, and Graham is robbed from another one.
I know he's been a couple games without a hit, but he's hitting the ball well. That just happens sometimes.
Yeah, you feel snake bit when it happens, but we've talked about it before. You got when you're striking out, you just want to hit the ball.
Absolutely.
You want to make contact. When you're making contact, you want to get it into play. When you get it into play, you want to get one that hits the ground and gets for a hit. And that's where Graham has been struggling the past several games, is they just aren't meeting the ground. But they will. The luck switches.
That's right.
It's like a light switch.
That's right. And a good start for Homestead. Two runs on the board. Got one of those runs in with 2 outs. And speaking of Graham Collin, Graham is on the mound for Homestead with Carter Dixon behind the plate. So we've got when Graham pitches, we see Brennan Wiegert go to third base. Jaden Lepper in his familiar shortstop position, and we've got Gabe Goebel coming into second, and Caleb Colpine at third. Luke Palmer in right field. Is that Braden Hardwick again in center field?
I don't think so. I think that's Bryce Snyder in center field this
Bryce?
game, and Jake Goody in left.
Okay, lefty. We've got so many lefty outfielders, it's unbelievable.
We have a huge stable of left-handed outfielders.
You can't look at which way they're throwing and make a call on who that is. Could be any of them.
And folks at home, I don't know what you're seeing on your whether or not you're getting a good signal out there or not, because my computer is hot out here, and I'm getting a little choppiness in what I'm looking at.
You want an umbrella?
It might be a good idea for us to get an umbrella. Let me see if I can.
I'll take a break and go get one.
Yeah, if you would, that'd be great. I don't think we will be blocking the view of some people directly behind us. Leading off
the bottom of the first, full on the Lions, center fielder number 6, Gabe Goody.
Is it?
We're going to be blocking you guys' view as soon as we put this up. Are we blocking everybody's view? Sure.
Well, folks, we just brought a fan into play here. That's a fastball that's hit for a grounder. Jaden's really having to fire in there to get that one, but it's safe. It was just shy of being an out there. It was, it wasn't a swinging bunt, but it was a soft grounder that's just hard enough to get past the pitcher and just soft enough to make the shortstop have to charge a half mile in to make the throw.
It'll be scored as a hit, but yeah, that's just an unfortunate break for Homestead. Let's see if we can't maybe turn 2 here.
Scored as a hit, but one you certainly aren't proud of. And they're showing bunt, and they drop one, and again, that's perfectly placed. There's not going to be a play to be made on that one.
That's a little indecision between the catcher and the third baseman, Carter and Brennan, on who was going to go after that ball, and neither one of them went after that ball.
Yep. So it's left dead in the grass, and the way that one stopped there in the grass makes me wonder if my theory on the mowing it a little longer right there in that spot might be true. And so there's 2 on and no outs, and we're getting small balled here. Intentionally and unintentionally. And there's a third bunt showing. I'm sorry, second bunt showing. The first one was a softly hit grounder.
Yeah, Graham went with the curveball, and I think he pulled it back in time for the ball instead of a strike.
So it's 1-0. Shows bunt again, fouls that one off, and the count goes to 1-1.
Yeah, that might have been Graham's 2-seam. He's got some good run on that. Goes in on the hands on the right-handed pitcher, or right-handed batter. So they're definitely coming out playing small ball, trying to move the runners around. They got kind of a lucky break on the leadoff hitter, and now being aggressive with bunting. See if Homestead can defend it well.
Runners are going. That's a swinging bunt. Graham picks it up. He's going to take the out at first, which he does, but the runners do advance on that sacrifice bunt.
Yeah, another kind of swinging bunt there.
Yep. I guess that wasn't a sacrifice. I just called it a sacrifice bunt, but it wasn't.
No, that was swinging.
That was just a straight out.
You see a lot of that with Graham, with that 2-seam fastball that he throws, that it moves in, and we see in a lot of those bat handle type hits come off of that pitch.
So we got runners on first and second and 1 out. And I just said first and second, but what I meant was second and third and 1 out. And that's a ball, a little chin music even on the pitcher from the prior game. And in the last game, that was a strike.
Yeah, I was going to say, trying to hit the lower part of the zone there and did not get that call.
Yeah, the pitchers are going to be alerted what the new zone is here. Strike zones are supposed to be the same, uniform throughout the game, throughout the umpires. Doesn't matter who's who, but the reality is every umpire has their own zone, slightly different.
That's right.
That one's fouled off, and the count goes to 1-2. I have a 1-2. The scoreboard has a 2-1. I like 1-2 better.
I do too, but not sure we can change that on the scoreboard.
Oh, I just changed it. He holds on that one, and he gets a ball called. And so far, it would appear this strike zone's a little tighter.
I would agree.
3-1 misses low, and a runner aboard and on a walk, and that, of course, puts us at bases loaded with 1 out with this tough-hitting team.
Yeah, we'll see if Homestead needs to grind again here and try to minimize the damage. No damage yet, but we're in a tough spot.
He brings that one in for a fouled off pitch.
Yep,
takes the count to 0-1.
It's like a curveball there.
Put it back on your head. And there's a balk. I think he slipped when he started the windup on that pitch, and that balk's still run in.
Unusual, something his foot against the rubber must have collapsed. I'm not sure what happened there because he.
And so run scores on that
wasn't
balk.
Able to make the pitch. Something happened with that back foot. I'm not sure, Dan.
And it's 2-1.
Curveball in the dirt.
And that one stopped nicely by Carter Dixon behind the plate.
Yeah, Graham just needs to settle in here. I know he had a couple tough breaks with the those hits and the bunt, just settle in and get the batter here.
Counts 1-1. He fires in a fastball, which is fouled off. The batter's very late on that one. Count goes to 1-2.
That was a nice pitch. Got the curveball low, got him to swing at it, and Carter got right in front of him, tagged the runner out. So
yeah, that was a beauty. The batter just stood there. I think he gave it up anyway.
Well, I think he thought Carter picked it a little bit because it definitely hit Carter's mitt and then popped out a little bit. So Carter had the heads-up play just to tag him real quick while he's still standing there.
Smart play by Carter. And we got 2 outs now. And there's another nice curveball in for a strike. And that's a ball low.
That low strike that's not being called this game.
Yeah, the zone has definitely moved up. And also, I think, moved down at the same time. Got a little tighter top to bottom. And that was a beauty of a pitch, fouled off. And the count is 1-2. Graham's ahead of the batter. There's 2 outs, 2 on.
Yeah, he's ahead here, so he can throw probably any pitch he wants if he can't get a ground ball or maybe a strikeout and get out of this inning.
And he does with a changeup, I think. Gets him way ahead.
Yeah, great pitch, lower part of the zone, definitely off speed. Good job to get out of that. So really the only damage was that unusual balk because Graham lost his footing there on the mound.
Yeah.
So it's a dirt mound, and sometimes the footing changes as this is now game 2.
And in baseball, it turns out there's an infinite number of things that can happen in a game. It seems like every game you watch, something you've never seen happens.
Well, as we move to the top of the second here, Homestead's got a 2-1 lead. We got pretty deep into the order. First time around, got a couple runs, so see if we can't keep that going and pop a few more hits and runs on the board. I think we'll be, I'll check where we are in the order. I think the order's changed actually just slightly, Dan, for Homestead. We didn't quite go through it yet. We saw Jaden Lepper lead off, try that bunt and almost get on. Then Carter Matheson is a familiar 2 spot. Caleb Colpine in the 3 hole. Brennan Wiegert in his familiar 4 hole spot. Luke Palmer batting 5th. Graham Collin at 6th. Jake Goody 7th. Bryce Snyder 8 and Carter Dixon 9. Gabe Goebel actually, I think is hitting, or no, I'm sorry, he will play second base, but the DH will be in for Gabe. And the DH is Carter Matheson this game. I think they're going to rest Carter a little bit, have him DH for both games. He did take that, made that diving play against Northridge the other night, has a sore shoulder, so I think they're just going to allow him to rest that and just let him hit today and let some other guys play the field. So here we go with Jake Goody up to bat. Swinging strike. Not sure if we mentioned it or not. Number 5, Donovan Massing is the pitcher. Swinging hit to second base. Ground ball, routine play to first. Got the out. So it looks like Jake was just a little ahead of that. Rolled it over a little bit. So Leo gets the first out with the leadoff hitter of the inning. Always love to see that leadoff hitter be able to get on base, but that's all right. We've got Bryce Snyder up to bat. Bryce has done an outstanding job this year, played multiple different roles for the team, comes in and runs a lot, plays the outfield. He's a good hitter. He hits one. Looks like an infield pop fly to second base. The sun may be in play there, but the second baseman backs up just a few feet and makes the out. And so just like that, it's 2 outs for Homestead. After that first inning, we definitely hit that pitcher pretty good, and this inning, we've rolled one over to a ground ball and got under one for a fly ball, so Carter Dixon up to bat. See if Carter can't get us going and with 2 outs.
Carter hits foul ball left of the third base line.
How's our equipment temperature now that we're in the shade a little bit, Dan?
Well, I'm hoping it's getting a little better, but we got a report from one of the fans here who keeps the broadcast going that he asked me, are we doing something different here because it's a little choppy? And I said, yeah, we are doing something different. We're unfortunately sitting right in the direct sun. This is the first time that's called strike. The first time this season where the sun has become an issue for our equipment.
Yes, we've had the umbrella out a lot, but never for shade purposes.
Yeah, other weather matters. And that's a ball outside. Does not get Carter chasing on that one. And the count goes to 1-2.
Yeah, we've seen, you're right, Dan. I think that strike zone's a little tighter in the last game. That curveball started out high, and he tried to drop it in at the top of the zone, but just missed. High fastball. Carter's done a good job of battling back here. Counts goes to 3-2. Stay fair. Oh,
Carter hits a nice ball towards left.
Yeah, hit it hard down the line. It was probably fair up until about the last 10 feet. Hit it that left field corner there. Got fouled by maybe 10 feet, 5 feet.
You folks at home probably caught the excitement from the Homestead fans on that one because it looked like it was going to be a well-struck ball that was going to go for 2 bases at least. Unlikely 3 unless it managed to curve its way all the way into the corner. And he rifles another one left, and this was a line drive, a beaut, but again.
He's getting closer. The first one was probably 8 feet foul. That one was 4 feet foul.
Yeah, he should have it dialed in on this pitch, but the count is full, and the question is how many strikes is this pitcher going to be able to throw successfully. The pitcher's been standing in the ready position for the past past 5 minutes.
Make him stand there, Carter. You take your time.
Yep, take your time out. Let him get frozen in that spot. And Carter spoils that one, fouled off.
Really good at bat here by Carter. If we need to change the Wi-Fi hotspot, if you think that's an issue, let me know.
It's actually, oddly enough, and we're talking our technology here, but I'm not sure it's the Wi-Fi on this one. It seems the computer is running choppy itself because a screen that's normally not choppy is it's smooth sailing. That was a fantastic at bat.
Absolutely, got the walk there. I'm not sure what that pitch was. It changed up, but it was at least 2 feet high.
Yeah, he cost that pitcher 9 pitches and the walk, and that's really hurts a pitcher's psyche.
Absolutely. So it looks like we've got a courtesy runner for Carter, who's the catcher.
It looks like Braden Hardwick out there as the courtesy runner. He's speedy on the bases, speedy on the gridiron too. We've talked about him before. He's one of the fantastic football players, fantastic running backs in this area. And that's a ball. I wonder if that was a pitch out. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, well, if it was, the catcher wasn't ready for it.
So probably it was a pitch out. Only the pitcher knew about it.
That's right.
So hopefully, folks, we put ourselves under a fan's umbrella that was loaned to us. So we've got our, and there goes Braden Hardwick. The throw to second is going to be off target and not caught. So Braden in safe at second.
Yeah, good aggressive base running there. Catcher actually did a good job of popping pretty quick and put the throw on the wrong side of the base. Otherwise, that might have been a much closer play.
And that, of course, started with ball 2. And that's called strike. Don't know if we mentioned, but Jaden Lepper back up to the bat, back at the top of the order. Craig might have said that. I'm over here fighting the technology, trying to get things cooled off as much as I can. Jaden fouls one super high. The players seem to think they have a chance over there, but they don't. It lands over in the bullpen.
Yeah, that was an inside fastball. Jaden turned on it and got jammed up a little bit there.
And we hear a couple of the Homestead fans who obviously know Cam Brubaker, I think is the kid's name over there, saying, you got to make that catch. Which, of course, would mean he would have to exited the ballpark.
Walked into the parking lot.
And the count's 2-2.
Nice
and Jaden hits a perfect line drive over the first baseman's head. The right fielder has to go far to get to that ball. It's a stand-up double, and run scores.
You know, that's a great piece of hitting. Basically kind of stuck your bat out. That ball's on the outside part of the plate, probably the corner, maybe even a ball, and Jaden just put it over the first baseman's head for a stand-up double and scored a run. Great job.
And now that we have this umbrella, it's getting downright chilly under this with the breeze. Hopefully that breeze is going to cool off the equipment enough that the chop will come out of the broadcast.
Oh, intentional walk here.
And they call
That's interesting.
4 balls in high school baseball, folks. That's how good Carter Matheson is in a high school game, a meaningless high school game. They take the opportunity for the pitcher to try and compete and instead give up the base.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It's almost sad.
It's not a league game. It's not a conference game. You know, I totally understand in certain situations, but
and now Caleb Colpine up to bat, and
I hope Caleb makes him pay for that and puts it right over the Leo scoreboard.
It'll be nice if he punishes them here for that little move. But yeah, this is the second time we've seen Carter intentionally walked this season, and I can't frankly recall where the first time we saw it was. It could have been Cathedral, but I don't think it was. Cathedral likes to compete. And that's a ball way outside.
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of that, mainly probably because we don't play in a conference, and so none of the games are counting towards any type of standings. So a lot of the coaches have allowed their pitchers to pitch to Carter, but not today.
Caleb watches strike 2 and counts 1 and 2.
Here we go, Caleb. Make him pay for that decision.
Caleb hits a ground ball. Looks like it's going to the second baseman. He fields it successfully, and it is a ground out. So the move paid off for Leo on that one, sadly.
Yeah, it did. And, you know, again, in a conference game, in a tournament game, that's probably not a bad decision, but not sure why they did that today.
And the question is, will they do that for the rest of the game now? Is this something that we're going to see for the rest of Carter's at-bats for some reason, that they're just going to feel like they need to do that to try and compete with this Homestead team? Odd, given the fact that they beat us in the last game,
that's right,
pitching to Carter. Maybe they just don't feel confident enough in this particular pitcher to be able to beat Carter. And so Homestead comes back to warm up here in the the bottom of the second inning. The score 3-1. We got one more on the board that last inning.
Yep, let's see how Homestead does and with their pitching and defense.
Did a good job the last inning.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how aggressive Leo is with the small ball. They were doing quite a bit of that. Now, they didn't do that until after they got the first runner on base, which was that how'd they get that first?
They had that soft grounder.
Oh, that's right.
Got past the pitcher and too short of the shortstop. Neither one really had neither one could make that play. It was just, it was one of those perfectly placed balls. If you went out there and rolled it out yourself by hand, you couldn't have put it any better. And then they put a bunt down that the catcher and the third baseman got a little crossed on. And, you know, Wiegert's playing third because Graham Collin, who always plays third, is on the mound. So Wiegert just has not that many innings out there on third. He's used to playing second. So I can see why things might have got a little crossed up there.
That's true.
But that's one of those times where you learn something new. And
right.
I'm sure Wiegert and Dixon learned from that. And it looks like our equipment's getting a little less choppy here. I hope the broadcast out there is getting less choppy.
Yeah, and we got some fans texting. We're still working on the video here. We know it's a little choppy right now. Thank you for the feedback, and hopefully the computer cools down here. We can get back to a normal feed.
And that one's called ball. It looked like it was pretty close to the inside corner, but must have missed by a bit. 2-0. And that one's low for ball 3, and the count is 3-0.
Yeah, he's not missing by much. It is a little bit tighter zone. See if Graham can't come back here.
Hits on that one, and the count goes to 3-1. Catches that one, and the batter thought he had ball 4 and decided to take the walk
that
to
was
first.
Right at the knees. And
always a smidge embarrassing, and I tell you, we've
right.
seen that a fair amount this season, where the guy's heading to first, and all of a sudden he's called strike, but unfortunately Graham misses on that next pitch, and that's ball 4, and the first runner's aboard.
He went with a curveball, but didn't quite get far enough to get the batter to bite on it there. So.
Yeah, he shook Carter off on that one, the first pitch idea, and I wonder what Carter was calling for. And so we got 1 aboard, no outs. And there's a fastball that just can't be caught up with for strike 1.
See how aggressive Leo is here. Graham's got a nice pickoff move
And
on cue.
Did you have a signal to him there?
I did not.
Yeah, I remember over the years with our youth baseball team, some of the kids had some overactive dads that want to be involved in the coaching of their children. That was a attempt at a bunt.
Yeah, here we go again.
And that's bunted foul for strike 2, 0-2. But you would see our pitcher look at the catcher, look at the dugout, and then look at their dad in the stands. And I thought, that person's serving too many masters.
That's right.
And there we go for.
Oh!
I called it strike 3, folks, but the umpire called it ball 1.
He didn't miss by much there. That looked like a really good pitch.
And that one was high.
Oh,
he
no.
chops it in, and there is no play to be made anywhere. Again, an absolutely perfectly placed ball. You couldn't bounce it any better than that bounce.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if that was bat handle again, but it hit the grass and bounced a good 10 feet over Graham's head and just died in the grass just past the mound. No opportunity for a play there.
Yep. And so all of a
that's
sudden,
2 innings in a row we've had this happen.
All of a sudden we got 2 aboard with no outs. And we saw that happen the last game. We got to hope it doesn't happen where it turns into something here.
And again,
another bunt foul.
You know, Graham, I don't know if that last at bat, he definitely threw a high fastball when he saw a bunt. That was a curveball. I'd definitely expect them to potentially bunt again here with only 1 strike.
Yeah, they really want to manufacture those runs, and with the score only 3-1, you can afford to do that. In fact, it's a good idea. And this one he bunts, pops it to Graham, who unfortunately, everybody was charging in.
That's right.
No chance to make a double play, but that was great fielding by Graham to stay on that one, and you could see his brain working as he was going under that ball, knowing he was going to try and make that play at first. But he still stuck with catching the ball before making that throw. So
they are
great job.
Bunting at every opportunity. As soon as they get a base runner, they're moving to the small ball.
And I expect that we've got a timeout right now for Wiegert to tie his shoe. But actually, I was calling Wiegert, but let's call him Gabe Goebel instead of calling him by his name. Goebel is tying his shoe. But, I don't have any problem with these guys going small ball. They did it the last game. But I expect that they're practicing this for the playoffs.
Yeah,
for the moments where it's going to be the right thing to do for them to win the game.
Which gives us practice to defend it.
Right. Absolutely fantastic chance for us. We got a chance to do that against Northridge and get a chance here to do that again today. He gets under that curveball. The center fielder is back, and he catches that ball, throws it into the cutoff man, and nobody moves on the bases. And we have 2 outs now with men still on first and second.
Yeah, that was the curveball. He left it up a little bit, but hitter got under it just enough, and thankfully got the ball in quick enough so the runners cannot advance. So we got 2 outs now. Let's keep those runners right where they are.
And he misses on that one. Carter bodies it up, but it goes sideways on him, and I'll say there's a little indecision there. He looked over to third, figured he didn't have a play there. Then looked over at second, and I thought he had a play when he looked over at second, but he didn't go for it.
Yeah, it's rare you can look off that first play and still have an opportunity for a second play. So I think that's and that's a safe decision. You don't want to overthrow and get the runner coming in from third. But
so we got 2 outs, and there's a hot shot that literally takes the glove off Graham Collin. He goes to make the play and still makes it, folks. This is the ESPN play of the day. That ball goes Graham sticks his glove out. It pulls his glove off of his hand, which flies in the air with the ball. They both come down. Graham has the presence of mind to still run that ball down, still turn around and make the throw to first before the runner can get there.
Yes.
Spectacular. Robs Leo of a run right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever seen that before, and frankly, didn't think he'd have time to make the play, but he stayed with it. Got to give him credit there. He stayed with it and made the out. And actually, wasn't even close. He got him at least a step or two ahead.
Yes, and that is what it's all about. Is you never give up on the play. You always, if you bobble it, it's not the end of the world. You just have to now take the time to make sure you get the ball in your hand. If you don't have the ball in your hand solid, you got to take the time to get the ball in your hand solid, because if you do that before going to the next step,
that's right,
you can still make the next step. If you get flustered and try to make that next step before you completed the step before it, that's when things go wrong, and Graham did that spectacularly.
Well, it's interesting. If Leo gets a runner aboard, they are going to small ball in a hurry, and with less than 2 strikes, I think they're pretty much showing bunt almost on every pitch. So this is going to test the Homestead defense, and I'm glad they're getting tested with this kind of small ball, because we could likely see it with Southside, or if we advance in that game with. We get I can't remember who we get the winner of, but some of those other teams, they're going to try to do different things to beat Homestead, who's going to be a favorite in that sectional.
And I'll tell you, Craig, I do not look past Southside. I don't know who will play in the next game, because we got to beat Southside.
Well, that's right. But no matter who we play in that sectional, I would expect to see some small ball.
Oh, no question. And I hate to say it this way, but our team is such a strong hitting team that if you don't have the bats to match like Leo does, you've got to plan for something. You've got to plan for some way to try and compete. And that's going to be a called strike 1 to Brennan Wiegert. Wiegert's the number 4 hitter. And we are in the top of the 3rd inning. Score 3-1. Oh, and Wiegert hits a hot shot. The shortstop had a chance at making that catch on the fly. He just misses it. It goes out into left center, and Wiegert is aboard just like that. And Homestead's bats still alive.
Absolutely.
And that brings up Luke Palmer.
I'm getting some more feedback that our video is back, and the broadcast seems to be going just fine now. So
also, the Matheson umbrella has saved the day. The Matheson phone has saved us before as a hotspot. Now the Matheson umbrella has saved us for cooling down our equipment. Luke Palmer up to bat. He had a Texas leaguer to left center last time to bring in Caleb Colpine. And that was a ball high. So we got 1 aboard. Brennan Wiegert, he's quick. We could see him stealing here. Catcher seems like he's ready for it. There goes Wiegert. Luke rifles one to the third baseman. The third baseman almost has his glove taken off, and the ball pops out of his glove. And folks, we have 2 aboard.
That was fortunate. That was caught. That could have been an easy double play, but it was a hot shot. And you're right. I think it almost took his glove off.
And that brings up Graham Collin now with 2 aboard and no outs. Danger time for Leo.
Well, go ahead, Graham. See if you can help yourself out here and get a base hit, maybe get a run on the board.
And what do you think? Is Luke going to get scored a hit or an error on that one?
Well.
Oh, and Graham shows bunt, pulls back, and it's called a strike, and I'm not sure that was in the strike zone. Has Graham laid down a bunt this year? Or was that the first time he even showed bunt this
I think
year?
it's the first time he showed bunt.
So I think it shows that Coach Bile is thinking maybe it's time for us to start working on some small ball just in case we need it. And sure enough, he does. Graham pulls back that time, and it is called a ball that time. Counts 1-1.
Well, if he can get that down the third baseline, third baseman's probably going to get pulled off.
He's not playing short, though, even though Graham showed bunt twice.
Yeah, they're going to rely on the pitcher to make that play, if he can get it down there.
He's showing bunt again.
Oh.
That time, I think he might have fouled it off. Not sure.
Yep.
And now we got a 1-2 count.
Well, I think that's his first bunt attempt for the season. Now 2 strikes. I'm sure he'll be swinging away here.
And I'll take that because Graham has been striking the ball well, and it's time. He holds on that one, and that's called ball low and away. Count goes to 2-2. Still no outs. Runners on first and second. And I know these runners, they're watching to see if one gets in the dirt, and they'll both go if it does because they're both heads-up players. And that was a changeup that catches Graham a little off guard. I think he saw a fastball, and it was a good, well-pitched changeup. And that is our first out, and Jake Goody comes up to bat. Jake Goody, since the Northridge game, has done he started hitting there. He was putting the bat on the ball from minute 1 in the game. The first game he played in was a Carroll game, and I think his first pitch, he took one yard, but unfortunately about 8 feet right over the right field foul pole.
That's right.
So he's got home run power, and he is just a good pure hitter, and that fouls that one off for an 0-1 count.
Yeah, we could use a good hit here and try to put another run on the board.
Yeah, line drive to right field would be just right, and he watches strike 2, and the count goes to 0-2. So Jake's dug himself a bit of a hole here, but I have confidence in him.
Oh.
And he watches strike 3. That one was a little bit low, a little bit outside, but I think it probably was a proper call.
Yeah, would like to see him try to put the bat on the ball there and at least foul it off, live for another pitch, but hit the outside corner.
So all of a sudden, we have 2 on and 2 outs. And I liked it better when we were 2 on with no outs. Bryce Snyder up to bat. Bryce takes a swing at that one for strike 1. Yeah, it seems to me this pitcher, his best 2 pitches are his fastball and his changeup.
Yeah, I haven't seen too many curveballs.
There's the curveball for a strike.
Or was that the change? I think it just dies there at the end. I'm not sure if that's a curve. It just...
Yeah, it really does die. And so it's 0-2. 2 outs.
Either way, it's definitely got our batters off balance a little bit right now.
Let's go Bryce. And Bryce swings at that one. Fouls it off. Keeps the at-bat alive. That was probably ball 1. But I get it.
Well, they've been trained by the first umpire that could be a strike.
Right. You got
it. Second umpire, I don't think that would have been, but...
Yeah, but you don't want to find out that it is.
That's right.
Bryce absolutely clobbers the ball to right field. The right fielder's back, and makes a fine catch over the shoulder. But that ball was struck hard enough that I was thinking he might get that out of the park.
Yeah, it looks like it might be downwind a little bit. That was probably, if not on the warning track, right there. Great job hitting that, Bryce, and I know you didn't get anything for it, but we've had a couple hard-hit balls that have been caught. Outfield for Leo's doing a good job today.
Yep, and I like to see the fact that Homestead's bats, in spite of the balls not dropping out there, are dialed in.
Absolutely.
We keep hitting the ball hard. We're hitting it all over the field, just not enough times where the players are not standing. Not that the players were standing under Bryce's ball there. Give credit to the right fielder for going back there and making a very good play, because that over-the-shoulder catch is not an easy one to do, and he did it. So the score stays 3-1, and we're coming into the bottom of the third, and we've got a good ball game again going here.
Yes, we do. A little bit different, a little bit more of a low-scoring game.
Yeah, yep. Now we just need to keep it that way.
Yeah, the wind is picking up a little bit, and that is moving towards right field, so that is a good left-hander wind for some of our good left-handed batters. We know that Carter and Caleb and Braden and Bryce, I mean, how many left-handed hitters do we have?
All of them, I think.
Exactly.
Leading off the bottom of the third for the Lions, designated hitter number 9, Squint Peters.
Well, we moved to bottom of 3.
So far, Graham's done a good job of keeping these Leo batters off balance and mainly hitting ground balls. In fact, their hits have been crazy ground balls in the infield.
True.
Just
that's absolutely
perfectly placed ground balls.
I think, 2 infield hits and a couple bunts.
And that one's off the handle. Gabe Goebel ranges
Goebel.
over and makes a diving
Yeah.
snag on that one. Absolutely robs that gentleman of a Texas League kind
That's
of
right.
hit.
Off the end of the bat there, and Gabe did a great job. Probably moved about 25 feet to his left, and it was floating, but it was moving away from him as well, so I wasn't sure if he can catch it. Great job, Gabe.
At the end, it was good that one ball ended up closer to Caleb than it did Gabe. Not that the first baseman's ever going to try and make that play, but that's how far Gabe went to get that ball, and that one's a ball low in the dirt.
Curveball not quite dialed in yet for Graham.
And I just gave him the strike just because I like him.
Fastball low. Count goes to 2-0.
I got the scoreboard fixed. It's 2-0. We got one out and nobody's aboard. That one's in there for that strike. And in fact, that was the strike I think we were getting in both teams were seeing called in the first game. And he must have just hit high enough on that one.
Yeah, that's good strike right at the knees.
And there was the second one. And Graham puts a glove on that one, but I don't think he's going to be able to.
No.
Yeah, he blocked that one just enough that he didn't. When it got by,
Yeah.
he didn't have a play, and nobody behind him could get that ball in time to make the play. But Graham is getting a lot of action on the mound today.
Well, he hasn't dialed in that curveball yet, so he's relying a little bit more on the fastball. And even with that 2-seam, they're getting the bat on it, just not solidly. And we've just had a couple of those we've not been able to get the out on.
And that's a strike on the outside corner. Yeah, I'd call it death by 1,000 cuts, but we aren't dying here. We're still ahead.
That's right.
And, so I'll take it. And,
Nice pitch.
and you were just talking about that curveball.
There it is.
And there it was. And the batter was a little surprised when that one fell in for a strike.
Got a 0-2 here, so see what they come up with.
He goes fastball, but the batter spoils it. And that would have been a tough pitch to hit because that was a low and inside fastball. Good spot. But the batter managed to get the top of or the bottom edge of his bat on that ball to foul it off.
Might have hit that with his knuckles.
And so we're
fouled it with his knuckles.
Yeah, we're still at 0-2. He drops
Nice
that curveball in, and the
pitch.
batter just waves at it as it goes by because, frankly, there was no chance he was going to put his bat on that one. And that is a strikeout, and we've got 2 outs now with 1 on.
Now they've got the runner on first, and they have not had a bunt attempt. We'll see what they do here.
First inning, they've not done that, but 21, I don't think they had him. They had pinch ran him every time he was on base last time. So there's another one off the handle. Graham, Graham goes to field it, but unfortunately it hits the top of his glove rather than going into his glove, and so the runner's aboard.
Yeah, Graham, I'm not sure why he was trying to continue to run while he picked that up. Maybe he's going to just run to first base himself, but couldn't glove it out of the grass there.
Yep. So that was a tough break. 2 aboard now, and there's 2 outs. But number 21, I don't know if he's a threat to steal, and if he's maybe not doesn't have enough speed that they're not confident of throwing a bunt down with him there as the lead runner. So we got 2 aboard now. We got 2 outs. That would have been out number 3. And that one's a ball in the dirt, gets through Carter's legs, and the runners advance. And so now we have runners on second and third, and 1 ball to the batter.
Yeah, we should have been out of the inning, so we just got to dig here. I know that's frustrating.
Yeah, so they're 2 aboard our infield sort of ground ball, dead off the handle hits. And that one's a hot shot down the right field side, but it goes well foul of the right field line.
Yeah, I'm sure Graham's frustrated with himself for not making that routine play to first, and he just got to settle in and
put that aside
and pitch. He's got the pitches to get this guy out. Let's see if he can get it done.
Short memory. And he drops the curveball in, but it's called a ball. Looked pretty good from here.
Yeah, it might have been a little inside. Carter had to move to his left to block that.
That's fastball high. Fouls it off, and now the count is 2-2 with 2 outs and 2 aboard. Seems like a good time to end this inning.
Yeah, here we go, Graham.
He goes for the curveball. The batter swings and spoils that one.
Yep.
And I think that one might have dropped in right on the top edge of the zone if he didn't swing.
He left it up there a little bit. 2-2 count, bring that down a little bit. See if he goes back to fastball here.
Graham shakes off a couple, 3 calls of Carter. We'll see where he goes now. And he goes for the curveball low. Was that a curve or was that a change?
That was a curve. Boy, so it was a little high with the first one, a little low with the next one.
And the count is full, and I'm expecting fastball here. That's what the batter's expecting, so I wonder what Graham's going to throw.
I wouldn't mind seeing him just go back to the curve.
3rd time's a charm. He throws fastball, and the batter, I think, was confused enough himself like we were back here on what to go for.
That's right.
And he just watches it go by. Maybe he just had the thought in his mind that he was going to get walked on that.
Well, yeah, it's good to see Graham finish that batter and get out of the inning, because I know he was probably a little mad with himself that he was still out there after that. Another weird play in the infield.
Frankly, that's all they've had so far from their bats is these weird ground ball things, bouncing, choppers. That's the only, and their bunt attempts. That's what they're trying to manufacture. Oh, they aren't trying to manufacture those chops and those ground balls, but that's all they're getting from Graham's pitching so far.
So it looks like Graham's about 50 pitches. We'll see if he lets him go another inning or two, or if he moves on to some other pitchers.
And so that takes us, folks, into the top of the 4th inning in this exciting game.
Much different game this time around, Dan. So we'll head to the top of 4, see if Homestead can't generate a little offense. Are we at the top of the order, Dan?
I believe that we are at the 9 batter. So we'll be starting off with Carter Dixon, I think.
Carter had some good hard hit balls his last at bat.
Yep.
They went just foul and ended up getting a walk out of that bat. It was probably an 8 pitch at bat, maybe.
9 pitches.
9 pitch at bat.
Yep. So he cost this pitcher as many as anyone yet today, and got a walk out of it. So great job there. But you're pointing out what's more important, and that is that he is just off, absolutely clobbering the ball somewhere. And so this at bat, seeing him the second time, may just be the time for him to clobber the ball.
Absolutely. Get us going here, Carter.
Carter's got a home run on the season, so we do know he's got the power to put it out, and you just have to look at him to know that. And here we go in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned his punting leg much this year, but he can hit it hard too.
And kicking leg. And that one's a ball in the dirt. Perhaps the pitcher's having flashbacks on the last time he saw Carter.
I was getting a check here on the pitch count. Donovan Massing, the pitcher for Leo, he's at 57 pitches, so let's see if we can't...
And gets him on that one for just a foul tip off the end of the bat, and it's 1-1.
See if we can't get him up into the 75-80 range this inning, and
that'd be nice.
Maybe get to the Leo bullpen next inning.
And put, I don't know, 5 or 6 runs up while we're at it. And that one's low.
That's that changeup.
Yep. And Carter got ahead of that one, and it's now 1-2.
It's getting a little breezy.
Carter gets under that one. Popped well foul. Carter takes off running for first perfunctorily, just in case it manages to blow back in fair, but it's not quite that windy yet. And the count stays 1-2. Just doesn't want to get yelled at by the coaches for not taking off towards first.
That's right.
That one's way outside and in the dirt, and we are at 2-2. So the pitcher's taking this from 0-2 to 2-2.
Well, Carter on his way to another good at bat here. See if he can't find something to hit, or let him walk him again.
And that one's outside, and the count is full. And the pitcher's thinking, because these pitchers know what the batter did the last time they were up, and this pitcher's thinking, I don't want to walk this guy again.
That's right.
And that one was low, but Carter
Spoiled
protects,
it. Yeah.
spoils it, and the count stays full. And that's 6 pitches in this at-bat.
Yeah, that likely would have been close to a strike.
Yep,
So
you had to swing at that one.
You got to protect the zone there. Good job, Carter.
And that one's right down the pipe. He fouls it. Looks like people are going to make a play over there. We can't see it from here, but it makes the ground. Carter is standing up on second.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he's going to have to come all the way back home.
The second baseman, that's that triangle area between right field, first baseman and second baseman. The second baseman was the one that actually got a glove on it, kind of a sliding backwards.
Yeah, it looked like he had
play.
overrun
Correct.
it, and then he's fallen backwards to try and make that play at the end. So
And I thought it almost landed in fair territory after it hit him, and that's why Carter kept running.
Smart move on Carter's part.
But we were a little screened down there by some of the Homestead players in the dugout, so I think it did hit in the foul territory.
So the count remains full. And that one's, he calls it a strike, but he's not calling the high one that much, and that was on the high edge of the zone, maybe.
Yeah, that's where you might get penalized a little bit, being a taller, bigger athlete there. Strike zone might be a little bit larger than normal.
So unfortunate for a strikeout and a leadoff out, but he did cost that pitcher another 8 pitches.
Yeah, another quality at bat by Carter.
Yep. And that brings up the top of the lineup, Jaden Lepper. And he fouls one into himself. And we saw Jaden show bunt a couple times. Did Jaden just throw that ball back to the
He did.
pitcher?
Foul ball off of his foot, laying in the grass right in front of home plate, and Jaden threw it back to the pitcher.
So last time up he showed bunt a couple times. In fact, did he bunt and then unsuccessfully, I believe.
Correct.
And he hits another chopper, but luckily it's called foul by the umpire.
Yeah, I think that's one of those that off the bat, then landed in foul territory just by the home plate and then bounced back into fair territory.
I can only presume that Jaden heard the umpire say foul right from the start of
Correct.
that, because Jaden just
He
stood
was
there.
not running.
While the Leo players were going to make a play. And so the count's 0-2 with a 1 out. And that one's way in the dirt. The pitcher literally falls off the side of the mound. I think he lost his footing on that one. And the count is 1-2. So we've seen both pitchers now lose their footing on that mound. And that one's high. Jaden checks a little bit,
Exactly.
but luckily that wouldn't have mattered with 2 strikes, but he didn't even accidentally foul one off of there. You see that sometimes where a batter has less than 2 strikes on and they check swing, but unfortunately their bat catches the ball and they get a strike out of it. That one's low and away, so that's a full count again.
Here we go. Good job, Jaden, to battle back here, not chase some of the balls just to the outside or high.
Yeah, and so far this inning has cost the pitcher 13 and a guaranteed 14 pitches. And that one's over the plate. Gets just under it. The second baseman's back, shielding the sun with his glove, and he's under it for the catch. And that is out number 2.
Yeah, we've given that second baseman a workout today. It's probably the 4th or 5th ball we've hit his way.
And now they intentionally walked Carter last time, but there was a runner aboard when they did it. So I doubt they're going to do it again, but the catcher looks back at the dugout to see what they're going to do, and the dugout says go ahead and pitch to him. And the pitcher a little bit nervous.
I'm not sure that would be called pitching to him.
Yeah, that's the old proverbial 55-footer, and I'm not sure it was even that.
I'm not giving him even 55. That's a 45-foot pitch.
And that's a baseball joke, folks, because it's 60 feet 6 inches from the pitcher's rubber to the home plate, and so when it drops short, you call it a 55-footer. But I think Craig's right that one probably didn't even make it 55 feet. And he tries to drop a curveball in high, but not close to the zone, and it's 2-0 to Matheson.
Yeah, they're being careful.
Careful would be the understatement of the century. And he throws a strike that time, and it's a hot shot grounder, but the first baseman makes a diving snag fair to get the out.
Yeah, he hit it hard, and that was a good play by the first baseman. He was actually, looks like he was shaded really close to that line, so probably more so than normal. That might have gotten by somebody being about 10, 15 feet off the line.
And maybe they had some knowledge what the pitcher was going to throw, and maybe he was only going to throw slower pitches, so that Carter would be most likely to pull one down the line.
That's a good point.
And so here we go in the bottom of the fourth. The score remains 3-1. This game, not even going to say it because I don't want to jinx it. So I'm not going to say it.
We won't say it. Looks like the same infield for Homestead. No changes. Same outfield, I believe, Dan?
I would agree with that. Good assessment.
We are only in the fourth inning.
Yep, we're in the fourth, and so far this group has been playing well, getting the outs that are needed. The only run they've scored was given to them with a crazy balk. We've had a lot of crazy things in this game. We've had the crazy
That's
balk.
right.
We've had crazy hop balls that jump up over the pitcher's head high enough that he can't get to it. We've had a ball tear the glove off of the pitcher, and yet the outs still get made. This is
and then the easy one in the grass didn't get made.
Right. So this game is full of craziness so far. Carter's practice throw down to second. Very nice.
Yeah, he's got a heck of an arm.
Leading off the bottom of the fourth for the Lions, right fielder, number 4, Gannon.
So I'd love to see, well, hopefully they don't get any base runners, but if they do, love to see a steal attempt because Carter can get him down with that arm of his.
Yeah, but let's not make him have to.
No, let's not.
Let's arrest his arm today.
See if we can't clean up these little infield ground balls.
Maybe this Leo team won't get quite as lucky with their placement of their infield grounders. And so here we go, bottom of the fourth. Graham gets a call from the crowd, strike one. And there's a high pitch that's well struck. Luke Palmer tries to range in, but it falls in for a hit.
I thought that might be a routine fly ball, but it just died out there and
not far enough.
Nope.
And so there's a runner aboard and no outs. We've seen this act before.
Yeah, let's see how Leo plays this.
We're going to have the lefty bunt again. The first base ump realized he needs to move over to second base.
That's right.
Now that there's a runner aboard.
Home plate umpire was waiting for him. Graham almost pitched without an umpire there.
Yeah. Wiegert is up in the grass on third, expecting the bunt at this point, given that they've showed it to us so many times. But no bunt attempt this time. Wiegert had charged in, and it's a strike one. Is that the changeup?
That was the curveball.
Curveball, nicely done. And we hear a little cry from the Homestead dugout, a little cheer. And that one's a fastball. Late on that one, ends up 0-2. Graham's way ahead. Wiegert's still with his toes up closer to the grass.
Yeah, you've got to expect it.
Graham goes back. Runner dives in. Safe there at first. And the count is 0-2. That was the curveball. Unfortunately, it takes a horrendous bounce right behind home plate.
Yeah.
Dixon almost had no play on that one at all, the way it shot up.
So drop third strike, but it just bounced, took a terrible bounce.
And they're calling it out.
What did we miss there, Dan?
Oh, there was a base runner. There was somebody on first. There is no drop third strike.
That's right.
Your announcers are asleep at the switch, folks.
That's right.
So who cares about that horrendous bounce?
Other than he advanced.
The runner did get to advance. He can do that because he did that on his own. But that's ball one inside. So Because there was a runner on first, a drop third strike does not allow the batter to run to first because he's got nowhere to go. I believe I think if it's bases loaded, then he can do it, or maybe it's what's the rule on that?
There we go.
That was a chopper to
Good job, Brennan.
third baseman, and almost a chance at getting 2 outs there. But that was a chopper over to third. Another chopper that Brennan comes in and gets his glove down to the grass and manages to catch it before it takes that second bounce. Throws a bullet to first to get the out there. Colpine turns and throws a bullet back to third because the base runner advancing, and Wiegert almost makes that catch.
Yeah, the play there by Jaden to get to third to cover that, since Brennan had to leave the bag to come get that play, was a great job by Jaden and really almost got the out there.
But we got the one at first, so there's now 2 outs. The one on third won't matter if we can get the batter out, and that's ball 1. But as we talked about earlier, the sort of gives you a little pause on which pitches you're going to throw because you don't want one to get past your catcher. And that's a hot shot to Jaden Lepper. He picks it up and throws it to first for the third out. And there we go, folks. The traditional 1, 2, 4.
Yeah, that was finally a ground ball, a routine ground ball versus
an actual
the non-routine ground balls we've had all day.
So Homestead does a nice job again in that inning. They have 3 innings in a row where they held the Leo Lions to no runs. Homestead has had 2 in a row with no runs, and we're hoping to turn that around here and start getting some of those base runners that we've been putting on in. That last inning, we put 2 base runners on with no outs and didn't manage to score, and that always hurts. Just like Leo managed to get a base runner all the way to third and didn't manage to get him, that hurts Leo.
Absolutely. So Caleb Colping's going to lead off for us here. Top of the 5th. Brennan Wiegert and then Luke Palmer is in the hole.
So we're at 3-4-5 here in the top of the 5th. Still the same pitcher for Leo.
Yeah, you know, the Leo pitcher has actually done a pretty good job. I'd say the pitch he throws that's given us the most trouble is the changeup.
Yep.
His fastball's not overwhelming. His curveball's okay, but the changeup...
it looks a lot like his fastball.
Yes, it does. And it just about 10 feet before the plate is where you notice it's not quite coming in as fast and dies a little bit and drops. So that's his pitch.
Yep, and he's doing a good job with it. But so Caleb Colpine up to bat.
See if we maybe can't jump on fastball early in the count here. He seems to throw those changeups later in the count when he's ahead.
I agree with that statement. That last game, number 21, he was throwing that curveball for his first pitch every batter. This guy doesn't seem to throw the changeup for the first pitch. He seems to save it for the third strike. And that one's in the dirt for ball 1.
Yeah, that's that fastball earlier in the count. Caleb was just a hair off on that one. Like to see him attack that. All right, Caleb, get on base.
That one's ball outside. Counts 2-1.
Yeah, that's his curveball, and he's not really located that well, but he is able to locate that changeup when he throws it.
Yep, so it's Caleb's a little ahead here. And now Caleb's way ahead. It's 3-1. And so now the pitcher's going to either walk him or he's going to give Caleb something that he wished he didn't give Caleb. Think he's going to go changeup here?
Well, typically this is a fastball count. Let's see if he tempts Caleb with a fastball.
He does.
Get through.
Good grounder. Hits the second baseman. He still picks it up, but too late.
We'll take it.
And we are aboard.
Yep, that was a ground ball. Second baseman had to move his right to a little bit. And again, on this dirt and this hard infield, the hops are not true, and he misplayed that. Well, it's a little behind. It gets 5-5.
Hits?
Yes.
All right. So this brings up Brennan Wiegert. And sorry, my scoreboard is a little behind there, folks. I just tried to get us up to date on the number of hits we have. And I have Leo over hitting. There's a pickoff move back to first, but no problem for the pinch runner to get back. And the pinch runner is somebody I don't know. It's number 15, or the courtesy runner. He's back again.
Jacob Creech.
And I guess he is a pinch runner because he came in for Caleb.
He's got 15 on, Dan?
I think that's 15. That's a ball outside.
Well, on the roster I've got 15 is Jacob Creech, but well, he's got a helmet on. Doesn't look like Jake to me, but maybe it is.
That looks like me. He's thinking about it. Pitcher looks back. He's worried about it. He makes the throw back. I think the pitcher's thinking the same thing I am. This guy looks like he's going to go.
Absolutely.
You got to have your poker move over there where you don't look like you're going to go, but you're going to go.
Or
the opposite. Maybe your poker move is I look like I'm going to go.
Is that 15 or is that 5?
It's not Hawk.
It's not? Okay.
Show us your back again, buddy, although not right now. And so we got the count 1-1. That was one looked a little inside, but it was called a strike. And that one's fouled off, and Wiegert wishes he had that one back. It was a check swing that he just kind of caught there. And now it's 1-2.
All right, Brennan, move him over. I'd like to see maybe Homestead a little small ball.
I wouldn't mind it either.
You never know when we might need it.
And very worried about this pinch runner. Little do they know, we don't know who he is.
That's right.
No offense to him, because I'm sure he came up for this game.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the players getting some varsity time here.
And there's another one back. And I think this pitcher has 73 pitches on his arm to first base now. And there he goes. It's inside, but it hit him.
Dead ball.
Dead ball, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All of that.
I'm glad there's a dead ball, because at first when Brennan stepped across home plate, I was worried we might get the interference call, but he knew it hit him.
Yep. With all of that looking back and throwing back, he hit, and then he hits the batter. And there is the guy on second base anyway.
And whoever that is, and I think that is 15, which says Jake Creech, but
and that
I'm
brings
not
up
convinced that's Jake Creech.
Luke Palmer, no outs. 2 on. That one's low and away for ball 1.
Whoever it is, he now has the dirtiest uniform in the clubhouse after about 5 dives back into first base there.
Yeah, with this heat, that infield dirt's getting a bit dusty, and he's carrying around about 8 pounds of dust right now.
Yeah, I don't think they watered it down between games.
Or this year. And here we go, the 1-0 pitch. No outs, 2 board. And that one's called a strike.
High outside corner. Yeah, that tight strike zone got a little bigger on that pitch.
And here we go with the 1-1. And that one's in the dirt.
There we go.
And it gets away, and Luke signals to the runners to go ahead and advance, which they do. And now it's 2-1 and danger time for the pitcher.
Could that be 19, you think, Dan?
I'm
Jackson
not
Toter.
going to fight you with it. I'll tell you when he crosses home in a second. 2-1 pitch. And Luke shows bunt. He drops one down. Suicide squeeze. Run. Scores.
Get there, Luke.
And they get him at first, unfortunately. But another run scores at home with some heads-up running by Brennan Wiegert. So absolutely fantastic suicide squeeze. The only thing we didn't get out of it was the base runner on first. But we did manufacture 2 runs. Well done. Well called by Coach Bile.
Yes.
Nobody was expecting that one. Everyone was back.
Great call, Coach Bile. Got both runners on the move, and Brennan did not stop at third when they made that throw to first, and even though Luke didn't beat it out, we scored 2 runs, so great job, Luke.
So suddenly the score goes to 5-1, and the first real lead in this game has opened up, and Graham Collin up to bat with 1 out, nobody on. And Graham hits one over the infielders into the right field. The second baseman really does a nice job of going over there and picking the ball up and maybe thinking he could get a play at first, but no chance.
That's right.
And so that's a hit for Graham, which I'm sure he's thrilled about because he's not had any luck with his incredibly hit balls. And what does he get luck with?
He gets the blue pit.
The blue pit.
He hit the snot out of the ball 4 or 5 times, can't get on base, and gets on with that end of the bat single into right field.
And that's life in baseball right there. And so that brings up Jake Goody. We've got one out still.
We got a courtesy runner in.
Courtesy runner on first, and this might be Hockmeyer. And we didn't watch to see who the first guy who scored was. Not 15 or 19. We have no idea.
There was so much dust and action going on, we forgot to look at that.
It's a mystery to all of us, folks. Maybe by the end of the game, we'll be able to tell you who it was. Maybe that person's going to get the Cooks Delight Player of the Game.
That's right.
And that one's in the dirt for ball 2. And I think this pitcher might be a smidge rattled now.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the number. I do think that...
See if iScore will catch up and let us know who it was that scored. That one's outside, and it's a 3-0 count now to Jake Goody.
Turn around. I'm pretty sure that's Nick. That came in to run for Graham.
Mr. Dusty straight here? You saying Hawk? You might be right. It kind of looks like him. And that's 4 straight pitches to Goody.
Ball 4. Nothing to hit there for Jake.
And you know what? I think today he has had 2 plate appearances where he was walked on 4 straight pitches.
Yeah, I think you're right. There was nothing even close to the plate there for him to even swing the bat at.
They must have the intel on him.
Here comes the coach.
And they're taking the rock away from the pitcher. That's it for him tonight, this afternoon.
Looks like he was at about 90 pitches, so...
And we got one of the fielders coming in. I think it's the shortstop coming in to take over on the mound.
Is that 22?
22. That's not Gutekunst, is it? No, it is not. It's Brubaker.
Coden Brubaker.
And so Brubaker has some fans and friends in the Homestead side. They've been calling out to him during the game, having some fun.
I'm guessing there's a summer league team relationship there.
Yep.
Some of these boys play together on different summer league teams.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't hear some friendly banter coming from the Homestead side. But they certainly weren't doing anything to get into his head on the other ones. It was just fun. We do hear at times some parents saying some things during the game that's a little bit surprising.
That's right.
Trying to get into the heads of children playing the baseball.
Yeah, throughout the years at all levels we hear some surprising things.
Yeah, and it's almost funny. It's almost the younger you go, the crazier the parents are.
Well, I remember when we were sitting at one of those ball diamonds that has 4 diamonds. We had a 14U game going on one diamond, a 12U game going on the other, a 10U, and then I think down to a 9U, and by far the loudest parents were the 9U parents. It got quieter as you got up in age.
Just trying to teach the kids about good sportsmanship and fair play.
And so Homestead's done a good job descending. Put the bat on the ball. Got some base runners. Moved them around.
Got 2 runs so far.
Not swinging at bad pitches. Got some walks. I mean, this is what you want to do. So
yeah, 2 runs, 2 outs, and that's Hawk out there on second now.
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been Hawk that scored.
No, you're right. No, Hawk came in for Graham there, and so 15 is who we want to identify.
It's either 15 or 19. You thought it might be 19, but I don't know if you saw a 9 or if you were just wondering if it was 9.
Well, I know Jake Creech, and it didn't look like Jake Creech to me. Now he was wearing one of those face guards, so it was hard to see him.
And so Bryce Snyder up to bat. He had a nice struck ball last
there
time
we got
up,
through.
And he just struck another one this time.
That's going to score.
Yep, he clobbered one to the fence last time. Was caught spectacularly, but now he just hit an RBI single that snuck by first and second base. Beautiful piece of hitting.
Yeah, good job.
And that was first pitch. He's after it.
Absolutely. Hard hit ball, got by the first baseman. It was very similar to who's that? Hit another one down there, but the first baseman made a nice play.
That was Carter Madison.
Yeah, that's right.
And so now speaking of Carter, we got Carter Dixon up to bat. There's runners on first and third. There's still just one out in this inning. We got the new pitcher, and the new pitcher's thrown exactly one pitch for exactly one hit and one RBI.
And here we go, runners at the corner.
RBI for us, earned run for him.
That's right.
And that one's outside.
Runners going.
It's a bad throw, and it gets through, and another run's going to score, and the runners all advance. So Snyder is now on third. Jake Goody is in for another run. Carter Dixon loses an RBI.
And the runner on third, I'm still not sure who that is, Dan.
That's Bryce Snyder.
Is that Bryce? He's wearing a different arm sleeve.
Yeah, no, he's not going to do arm sleeving on you.
He's not allowed to do that.
Yeah, between games, he switched.
He went from red to green.
Yeah, so he's been playing center field.
Throwing me off. I thought, did somebody come in and pinch run? What's going on here? And Bryce was going there. That was a steal. Catcher threw down and was well right in the grass.
Strike.
That's why we got the run in there.
Yeah, I had already scored that one as a ball. I got to remove that, and now it's count as 1-2. And he gets a swing at a curveball that drops into the dirt, and now he's made it easily to first, and a run scores. So that strikeout results in a batter on first and a run scoring. And a little bit of the wheels coming off this inning now for this Leo team. They're still sitting with one out. They've given up 5 runs. And we are back at the top of the order.
Yeah, it was swinging strike in the dirt. Catcher stood up and paused for a few moments, he never looked down to third. And I was watching Bryce just get closer and closer, just hoping he would throw to first, and he did. And Bryce would have beat it even if they made a throw back to home plate.
But yeah, the first baseman then dropped the ball, and so there was no play. And here we are, JP smiling at home.
Yeah, back to the top for Homestead. Let's just keep it going.
So it's 1-0, 1 out, 1 on. And JP smokes a line drive to right center field. They're chasing it. It's going to go to the fence. Well, he cuts it off just at the warning track. JP's on second easy, and he's thinking about third, but they stop, and here comes the run all the way from first. First or second?
Yeah.
That was Braden Hardwick who just scored.
From first.
He just scored from first, so that's what helps with that speed he's got.
He came in for Carter Dixon as a courtesy runner, and he just immediately took off as that was apparent it was going to be a gap double, and scored all the way from first base.
And so now you've got the scores up to 9-1. There's still just one out. Carter Matheson up to bat. Doubt they're going to intentionally walk him this time. Nope, they do. They intentionally walk him in the bizarre move for again, high school baseball. Yeah, we have to give that a boo because they're apparently saying that their pitcher can't compete. So they're giving it up and saying, nope, we can't compete with Carter, so we're going to go ahead and take our chances with.
You know, if it's the bottom of the 7th and a tie game in a sectional, I mean, I kind of understand you don't want to let Carter swing the bat, but
9-1, really? And that one's low into the dirt to Caleb Colby.
I am really rooting for Caleb to make him pay for that.
Aren't we all? And they're both going. And Caleb Colby hits a high ball,
Get out of here.
Deep ball.
Get out of here.
And it leaves the park, folks. And what fun for Homestead. They avoided the hammer, and they ran into the buzzsaw.
There you go.
Absolutely fantastic. And the Homestead fans are on their feet because they don't like the kind of play that these folks were involved in. And now it's 12-1 to Leo, and they're questioning that call now.
Yeah, absolutely, as they should. I mean, Caleb's basically been protection for Carter all year long for that very reason, and so the one team that really tries to pull that off, and glad we made him pay for it. Great job, Caleb. Way to smoke it.
Couldn't have made him pay any better than that.
That was a no-doubter right off the bat.
Yep. So sweet victory. And folks, I was so excited I didn't hit the home run button, so you didn't get to see the home run flash on the screen.
It's not too late.
So I'm going to give you one flash here.
There we go.
And so that one was fouled off to Brennan Wiegert for strike one. So it's 0-1. Still one out in this long inning for Leo. And we're back to the top where we started. Brennan Wiegert led off this inning.
That's right. That's right. Let's keep it going.
And the count's 1-1. And that's in the dirt for 2-1.
Well, you know, this is the shortstop. Forgot his name, but he's been playing all day. It's been hot. I'm really sure he's tired. I'm surprised they didn't pull someone out of a bullpen in this situation.
And that's ball low.
I mean, we're probably 4 hours into baseball now on a hot day.
And really, this is one of the few first hot days these guys have been playing. It's not like when you're playing in the middle of summer and you've been playing 90-degree days for a month. And Wiegert hits a ground ball to the shortstop, who makes the throw over to first for an out. And they finally get their second out of the inning. That brings up Luke Palmer. It's his second time up to bat. Last time he did the sacrifice bunt that scored 2, thanks to a good piece of running by Wiegert, I believe.
Absolutely. Get on base, Luke. Let's get him around, get another one in.
Keep this train rolling. And Luke waits on that curveball, hangs, and it drops out in right center.
Going
back
for 2.
To the warning track. Luke's going to try and make 2 out of it. There's a throw to the cutoff man, but there's going to be no chance at second. And Luke pulls a double out of that.
Great piece
of
hitting.
Just like that, there's a man on second.
How many times have we seen that from Luke Palmer this year? Hit into the right center gap.
That's his chosen side of the field this year, although he's starting to hit him left, and looks like we've got Mr. Quintana.
We've got a sub in for Graham. We've got, Mr. Quintana.
Is that sub for Graham or sub for Micah?
That's a sub for Graham.
Because Micah wasn't batting in that spot this game.
Correct.
Okay, I missed that. I should have noticed it the first few times through the order.
Here we go, Braden.
And that one's low for ball 1. Now I know Luke wants to try and steal third, but it's always dangerous. But it's 12-1.
Well, you intentionally walk on our batters. There's all bets are off.
Quintana gets under that one. It's a high pop fly to left, and the left fielder gets under it for the out. And that finally brings an end to the top of the 5th. But the damage was severely done in that
Damage is
inning.
done. So
now they gave us a little bit of it, of course, with an error or 2, but our bats were just absolutely crushing it.
Yep.
And here we are at 12-1. So that gives Graham a bit of comfort on the mound that you're able to,
play loose.
Not so easy when it's a 3-1 game going into the bottom of the 5th, but when it's a 12-1 game, you hope that you took a little wind out of the sails of these hitters.
Absolutely.
They're starting to think, boy, it's a hot day out here, and I wouldn't mind going home. And if we just get through these 3 outs without hitting anything, then we get to go home. And maybe that's what they're going to do and come lay down for us. But I wouldn't say they would, not this Leo team, because these guys are good hitters. Probably going to see about 50 bunt attempts.
Yeah, you're right. They did that through the first 3 innings. Not a lot of that in the last inning, so we'll see what they do here in the 5th.
Yeah, and folks at home, I'm sorry I haven't kept up with the hit count. I don't know if iScore is telling us who's got how many hits. How many does Homestead have now?
Only showing 7 hits.
So
now up to 8.
Okay,
it's still catching up.
Who's up to bat?
Cade Colping.
Okay. And that's a joke because Cade hasn't played here since 2019. But Cade Colping, as folks that were around in 2019 watching baseball here at Homestead, is Caleb Colping's older brother, and Cade was an absolutely outstanding baseball player. He was our catcher, and he was our captain, and he was our best hitter. Everything about him screamed baseball.
Yep, and I think he's here today, Dan. He's made the last few games now that the spring semester is over at Taylor.
Oh, that's right. The college guys are home now. Yep, I see him right behind us, I think. So he's missing our effusive praise of him. And that one's another chopper in the infield. Wiegert picks it up. Bare hands it, picks it up, and then way overthrows Caleb Colping at first. And this one might result in a triple. But no, luckily the guys got in fast enough, the backups, and picked that one up. And so another bizarre hit for
a chop ground ball.
Yep.
And Brennan did a good job of coming on that. He couldn't take the last hop out of it, but got his glove on it, and I think he thought he had to make a really quick throw and just
he did
a little high there.
Yep. But that was the right move.
Cole Etchison is in at first base.
Oh, didn't realize that. We got Cole Etchison at first. Did we have any other switches? Looks like our second baseman has changed. No, maybe that's Gabe still.
I think that's Gabe.
Folks, our old eyes don't always see out there that far. And that's a beauty of a strike straight down the pipe. Watched for strike one. So we got a man on second, no outs. It's 0-1 to this hitter. Leo has to put up 2 runs in this inning to keep this game going. That's a ball in the dirt. Carter loses it momentarily, not realizing it's exactly between his feet.
Right, good job blocking it, but again, I think that dust bowl out there is you can't find the ball.
Yep. And luckily you have the fans over here helping him out with the cry of feet, feet. Tell him to look down at his feet. So the runner holds at second. That's a fastball. Well struck into right field. Luke Palmer under it.
Shoot it,
and now
Luke.
He's making the big throw to third, but it's going to be late. They're just late. And the man advances to third. Good try, though.
Yeah. If that's a fly ball to left or center, I don't think he can do that. But the fly ball's to right. Runner on second tagged up and did a good job. Yep. Luke did a good job getting onto that ball.
Just deep enough. And so now we've got 1 out. We've got 1 on third. And the game continues. This is really the big out right here, quite frankly. And that's a ball high.
I was going to say, dare Leo bunt and trade it out? I mean, they need 2.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that at this point. And not when you have 1 out. It'd be a bold move. And that one's in the dirt. 2-0. Dixon does a good job of keeping that in front of him. And that one's right down the pipe. Grounder to second base. Second baseman.
Got him. That scored a run, but he got the out.
Yeah, Gabe bobbled that one because with such a scorcher coming at him, he had to range over to get it, but he still picked up, stuck with it, threw a low throw that Etchison got a glove on and kept a glove on, more importantly, for the out, because I know that the ump was looking to see, is that ball in your glove?
That's right. I was nervous another infield weird hit might have gotten us.
And it's a beauty of a curveball for a strike one watched. And we have 2 outs, folks. We are 1 out away from the end of this game. We are currently 10 runs ahead. And that one's way in the dirt. That's the proverbial 55-footer.
I think Graham's smiling on that one. Not sure what. I think that was a curveball that hung on to or way too long.
He was just seeing if he could catch him.
Yeah.
Catch him off guard. Get him swinging at something else.
Like a cricket throw.
He threw the googly. He tried to drop a curveball in there, but missed, and it's 2-1 now. 2 outs. And as I was saying, if Leo does not score another run, this game is over. And there's a swing and a foul tap.
Foul and got Carter there somewhere, not sure.
Yep, Carter's walking it off, and you see the umpire go out to have a little chat with Graham. All that is a courtesy walk out to the pitcher to give the catcher a chance to walk it off. Now the ump comes back and says, "You okay?" Carter says, "Yep, ready to go."
Yeah, sometimes you'll see the reverse. If it hits the umpire, the catcher usually walks out, gives the umpire a little breathing room.
And the count is now 2-2 with 2 outs. So they're down to their last strike here. And that's a curveball, but he spoils it, and the count stays 2-2. And Graham's trying to get him with that curveball.
Yeah, that was a good curveball. That was low. I'm not sure if that would even stayed up in the zone. So good to get him to chase after that one.
Yep. And we'll see. 2-2.
Finish him off here, Graham.
He goes curveball. That one's a line drive to the center fielder.
There we go.
Game. Comes right under it, catches it, and folks, that is the ball game. I'd say that Homestead got the better of Leo a lot more than Leo got the better of Homestead. If you add the 2 game scores together, Homestead
Aggregate
wins the
score.
combined score. So, but Leo, a very tough opponent, the best hitting opponent we have played.
No question. Game 1, they definitely had their bats going. Game 2, they had got some infield hits. That was a little unusual, but yeah, hats off to Leo and a great game. And we're going to see the first handshake of the year, maybe.
Yeah, and it's interesting.
Let's turn the cameras off.
Yeah, we should. There was a mask mandate here at Leo for everybody to get into the park, and now the players are all hugging each other before the start of the sectional. And hopefully both teams don't get wiped out of the sectional by by a quarantine.
Turn the camera off. Man. Turn the camera off.
What contact? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was good baseball. Very different games. Game 1, Game 2. Game 1, I think Homestead's errors or freebies kind of gave the game away. The hits were about even. Game 2, some interesting infield hits kept Leo alive a little bit, but they could never convert that into runs. Homestead pitching and defense did a great job, and then boy, the bats just got going again for Homestead. Look out!
Yeah, and I'd say the bats were fine in both games. In fact, they were fine at Northridge. They were fine here. Both games. I don't care that we lost the first one. Our bats are dialed in. Our guys are hitting the ball hard. And if you're hitting the ball hard, most games you're coming out on top.
Absolutely.
But it's time for the Cook's Delight Player of the Game, and I'm going to go ahead and name it because you'd get accused of nepotism. But it was Graham Collin. He pitched a beauty out there today. I think he pitched a 2-hitter.
Yeah, I would agree. That was
and the hits they had were crazy hits.
Correct. They were. I think only one hit was in the outfield, Dan. I think the rest were considered maybe infield hits or misplays. I don't know if they were scored as errors or not, but
but Graham pitched a beauty there, and I was glad to see that because you want to come into the sectionals and the playoffs feeling confident. Tarango and Elkin struggled a little bit at that in that first game. I know they'll get past that and come back strong. But Graham looks like he is ready to go.
Yep.
Caleb Colpine in that Northridge game looked like he's ready to go. And so we have a stable of pitchers that are going to be ready to go for those sectional games. But I'm not looking past that first one Wednesday.
No. And before we talk about sectionals, you're right. I would agree. Graham gets the player of the game. A runner-up to Caleb Colpine for when they intentionally walked Carter twice today, made him pay for it with a 3-run home run. So great job. Love to see that when they do an intentional walk.
Oh, me too. Because we made it clear during the game that we don't appreciate it when they do that. These guys are here to play the game. The batters are here to play the game, but that pitcher's here to play the game too.
That's right.
And what is the coach telling that pitcher when he says, "Don't pitch to Carter Matheson. Don't even throw a pitch to get Carter Matheson"? He's saying, "I have no confidence that you can take care of that batter." So
that's right. and there's some situations where you may want to do that, but today I don't see any reason why they should have. But anyway, we won't dwell on that too much. But great job to Homestead to bounce back from a tough game 1 when you didn't play well. You made some mistakes, and they came back and looked really solid in game 2.
Yep. And I was glad that Leo today played a lot of situational baseball. They were manufacturing runs with the bunts, trying to lay down the bunts during the game, and so that gave our guys some good practice at that.
Absolutely.
Even, I think, head coach Bile thinking maybe we should start practicing some bunts, and so we did a little bit of that today.
Yes,
I'd like to see that.
I like that play, the bunt down third baseline with a runner on second, third, and they both scored. That's a great play. I've seen Homestead do that before. Not a lot this year. In years past, we've seen Coach Bile be aggressive with that play. So, I think this is the perfect team to play going into sectionals because they were a very good hitting team.
Yep.
Had good pitching.
And on that point, for them, we were the perfect team to play going into the sectionals because we were 2 good, solid opponents. Good, solid baseball played in both games. Split the doubleheader, so both sides can come away feeling confident, building some confidence out of it. So, all the way around, a good doubleheader to finish the regular season on. And I believe the regular season, Homestead finishes its regular season, I think 23-6, which is an outstanding record for the season. And dare I say it, I don't know if I shouldn't, but I'm going to. The number of wins that a single team for Homestead has put up in a season record is 26.
Okay.
So if we can get to the regional, we will tie that record. Just by getting to the regional, we'll tie that record. And so I think if there's a team that can do it, this is it.
Well, yeah, we're at the end of the regular season, and this has been, I know both of our boys play on this team, but this has been a special Homestead team. They've got a lot of wins. They beat some really good teams this year. They've got good hitting, good pitching, good defense. We're obviously hoping for a deep run in a one-and-done tournament. You never know how that can go and what kind of pitcher you may face. But really been a lot of fun to watch Homestead this year. And Dan, this has been a lot of fun doing the games and getting our games broadcasted here. So lots of fans of Homestead baseball can watch these games, which I know because we don't have any home games. The Homestead broadcasting, the high school didn't do any of these games. So this is an opportunity for folks to watch Homestead. A lot of you have definitely thanked us personally, and I really appreciate that. I've had a lot of fun doing this, and not sure going forward if we're going to be able to broadcast or not. We'll have to let everybody know.
Yeah, and folks, it's a mystery to us because it's possible the IHSAA owns the rights to these games, and when we're not competing with anybody, nobody cares that we're broadcasting this. But I am certain that Summit City Sports will be broadcasting the sectionals, and they do a fine job.
Absolutely.
Don't want to discourage people from watching Summit City Sports, but we know that being a couple dads from the team, and there's a lot of family members, quite frankly, that are our viewers, that we can add a little something that the Summit City Sports guys don't add for those folks that are watching our broadcast. So we're gonna try to do it. We're gonna plan to do it, but frankly, we don't know if we're gonna be allowed to do it. So we'll see. It could be that we're going to be broadcasting on Wednesday night. It could be that we're going to be in the stands rooting for the team just like you folks. And if you're away from the game, you will be able to tune into it on Summit City Sports.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet the sectional championship game is going to be broadcast on AHSAA, but not sure about the first couple of rounds. So I guess we'll have to find out. And we'll let everybody know.
Yep, we will let you know. You always can follow our Twitter feed at HHS Photog. I try to put out the game times and the game broadcast links, whether they're ours or they're somebody else's, and I will continue to do that so that you make sure you don't miss any of these exciting games coming up. Our boys, these seniors, have 2 days of high school left.
Unbelievable.
And they're both days of finals, so it's not the 2 favorite days you have, but Tuesday, of course, is the favorite day because at noon, they're all done.
Yes.
And they're not only all done for the semester or the year, they're done with their primary school education. Hard to believe.
That's right.
No, we've been watching these kids, these seniors, 12 of them come up all these years and loving watching them play their different sports, be it baseball, be it football, be it basketball, because what a special class this has been. How many all-conference players do we have? How many all-state players do we have? How many, these guys are they've got accolade after accolade. And so they've been a pure joy to watch, and they're a great group of young men at the same time, too. So we will certainly miss them now that their high school years are coming to an end. But they're all going to be heading off to good college careers. And
or the military.
Or the military, that's right. Good point. We got Gabe Goebel here on this team, and then a great friend, Andrew Baer, also going off to the Marines. Who else? Who's going off to the Air Force? Joey Zwers is going off to the Air Force. So you've got people that are going to the different branches of the military.